All right.
And we're live.
Sweet.
Hello.
Hello, Internet. So this is the node.js mentorship team meeting. We're still in our formative phases. This week is our second meeting, and we have myself. I am champion of, I'm ComCom member, champion of the user feedback group, and I'm here as a member, supporting the mentorship working group. So excited to get the mentorship process going, and using some of that experience, facilitating the various team meetings in the Node project. So Ahmed, you're the boss around here. So I want to introduce yourself.
My name is Ahmad. I'm from Palestine, and I'm here to get the mentorship program running. Hopefully, it will be awesome.
Surely.
Awesome. And Tierney?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Tierney Siren. I'm a developer advocate at NodeSource, and I'm chairperson, I said it right that time, of the community committee.
Right on. And we have one more person in our group. Conrad Holloman is the final person that is in our group. We're actively looking for team members, individuals who want to help in the setup process. We've begun the initial surveys for mentors and mentees, and that. If we look at all of the various things that need to be done, that is a separate process, and I'm excited to participate in the capacity of both the mentor and mentee in that. But we do need folks in the project to sort of do the administrative things, get everything taken care of, make sure that everyone who's coming into the mentorship program is supported. Hey, there's Conrad.
Hey, Conrad.
Hey, Conrad. Glad you could join us. We're live on YouTube, and I was just going through and sharing a little bit about the context of what we're trying to achieve in the mentorship team meetings, and kind of bringing the internet public up to speed, and requesting more participants to help in that process, to facilitate the mentors and mentees, and make sure everyone's having a great experience. The mentorship is a very people-intensive process, and my expectation in this is that the administrative side of that is also going to be fairly labor people-intensive. So the more individuals we can have to support that and help manage the administrative side of things, the more our mentors and mentees can focus on their goals and have a great experience.
Maybe we should announce that. We haven't really went to any public channel to tell.
Okay.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should open an issue on the ComCom, for example, for people to, if someone is interested.
Yeah,
cool.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, the more we can do outreach, especially now, the more it'll pay dividends down the line. Yeah. I would say that we probably want kind of 2 more people, not 20 more people. But if 20 people do show up that want to participate and coordinate mentors, we'll figure out how to solve that problem. So, we started out the discussion today, around the tooling to be able to put the meeting setup and cadence and Google Doc preparation on autopilot. Ahmed, maybe just for everybody's context, you could share where you're at with that and how far you were able to take it on your own.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do during these 2 weeks is 3 things basically, or 4 things. The first is put all the assumptions in a place in an issue, so we can like iterate over them and basically start like a small beta program with a few people, so we can test it and do fast iterations over the process. So I opened that issue. It's on the agenda, so we'll talk about it. Also, I wanted to do the node artifacts, the setting up the meetings and the Google Docs and the issue and the pull request, stuff like that. I started looking at it yesterday. Actually, I got some time, but I didn't actually understand I understood what to do, but I didn't understand where to put the files because it's not clarified. And I looked in the node repo, I didn't find anything, but turns out I have to submit a pull request to the, let me find the repo. To that project, to that
right. And then so that's on Michael Dawson's personal account.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we should put in a request that get moved over to the Node.js project eventually.
Yeah, I was just thinking that today,
Right.
like as I was going through and looking at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. And did you have any further that tooling? Because I wanted to make sure that we capture the action item that I took.
I'm sorry, you were cutting off.
Oh, I was just saying, did you want to add anything else to that? Because I was going to share something.
Yeah, there's one more thing. Last
Please.
week I sent an email to Mark. One moment. Yeah, so I sent an email to transfer the forms. I CC'd you and Tierney about it. So we wanted to transform the forms from my Gmail account to the Node Foundation account, and Mark did transfer one of them, but he didn't transfer the second.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sent him another email, but he didn't reply. So I'll send another one today or tomorrow.
Okay. Can you CC me on that as well?
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'll make sure to follow up with him and get that done.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. So on the create node meeting artifacts tooling that Michael Dawson has prepared for working group and various Node.js project team leads. I will take the action of going and setting up a PR to the admin repo to begin to sort of create a space to point folks to help resources and everything. We're kind of at zero and begin to sort of create a focal point there. Then in addition to that, so I've been going and getting the resources set up for being able to to be, kind of the foundation liaison, to run Zoom meeting, do the YouTube posting, and make sure that we have our calendar entry up to date. So calendar, I created an issue, not a PR, to request the calendar invite. So I was corrected at the latest ComCom meeting that cool, saw the issue. What's missing is adding myself to the list of calendar maintainers to be able to sort of go through the rest of that process. So after yesterday's ComCom meeting, I fixed that. So I got that taken care of. Unfortunately, working with Zibby, I haven't been able to unblock, getting my my Gmail account set up with YouTube. Not sure what the issues there, or quite how to unblock it. Went around in circles a few times with Zibby, and a couple other folks from the Linux Foundation. Couldn't get to a resolution. So absent, going and physically doing it myself, I'm not sure what to do with that. Tierney, you had some challenges, getting that set up yourself. Do you remember what unblocked it?
With the YouTube stuff, I was just added to the account. That's I didn't have any issue with that specifically.
Okay.
It was more with Zoom.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure on that.
And last but not least, Zoom I am set up. Yay! Close that loop. So Zoom is unblocked, but still blocked. And YouTube is the reason why we're still, I don't consider Zoom unblocked, because I can set up a meeting and, post that, but I can't actually do, the sort of transparency process that we have to, share our public meetings on YouTube with everybody. So, that, it's not done yet. Okay. So, that's just gonna, take time and poking, and maybe some screen sharing or whatnot. I know that that YouTube's permissioning model can be cumbersome and complicated. When I've set it up in the past, it was not straightforward. But yeah, I've yet to get any sort of notice that my account was added or anything like that. But I also have, a bazillion accounts. So there are plenty of ways that, that could potentially go sideways, with some old account of mine, if there's not, sort of clear indication that is, dshaw.com. Hashtag branding. Oh, so that's the state of the universe, and with that, we should probably move over to going from transitioning from where we're sort of getting everybody together and how this team is going to go and sort of set up the first group of mentors, right? And the way I would propose we go about that is in our regular 2-week cadence, maybe we set up a meeting, initial meeting with mentors, or should we get together and have a meeting first about what we're going to tell the mentors?
I guess we need to have like some guidelines for the mentors to like tell them exactly, like they have to read the documents and stuff that we wrote on the mentorship.
Right.
but also like they need some guidance, like some resources for them to be able to, like, most of them, or I guess like they're going to be new to the process. So we're going to have to find like some good resources to guide them through how to mentor people, or like the mentality of like they don't need to know everything. They have to like be like a link to the resources. They don't have to, like, it's okay to not know something.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to facilitate the process of learning. Things like that. Like first we're gonna have to do this. Maybe I'm thinking like if we set up the Slack thing, we can talk to them on Slack before actually starting the mentorship program. Like for the kickoff meetings, we can have like some talks with them or invite them to this meeting to talk with them and get them set up and answer their questions. And we'll have a better idea like what is missing to start.
Conrad, do you had with Operation Code some sort of onboarding meeting? Do you have a deck that you would drive that process with?
When it comes to onboarding of mentors specifically?
Right.
So we actually never used a deck for that.
Okay.
The way that we went about it is we would have like whoever was the senior who was kind of we would have one of the more senior mentors basically pair up with one of the new folks who were coming in, and there was an implicit kind of cultural responsibility to make sure that they were having that conversation. There's a couple of ways that this can be made easier by automation. The first way that comes to mind is if you bring in, let's say you're using Slack as a platform, just for argument. This can be done platform agnostically, but I'm just going to use it as a metaphor here. You would have like anybody new who was invited to the mentors channel would get a greeting basically that's like, hey, welcome to the mentors channel. It would send over like a form that would be like, this is our code of conduct, make sure that they signed off on. Like, okay, is there like the mentor guidebook, have you read over this? I've certified that I've read over this, click okay. And then that senior person would kind of help them see like, okay, so this is the mentor list, this is how you pair yourself up, yada yada yada.
Got it. That's slick. Yeah, I'm in the Operation Code Slack, so I've seen some of that. The machinery working, and it's amazing to see. That's great. Okay, so bootstrapping, begin by beginning. And we don't have any senior mentors, but we do have a couple. Senior mentors here with Conrad and myself.
That kind of starts with us. Like we get the first group of however many mentors you want to start with. As they become more comfortable with it after maybe 1 or 2 months, they take and it expands over time,
Yep. So what I think we should do with the pool of mentors that we have who've raised their hands is to reach out to that group and explicitly ask the first cohort of mentors, we don't have any program that you're stepping into. So if you're excited about getting started with this program and we would like to work with the mentorship team to refine the process and provide feedback, now is the great time to engage. Otherwise, we can, if you don't have the cycles to participate at that level, in the first cohort, we can hold your name as we get a little more process under us and get to next stage.
Yeah, I want to point out currently we have 3 people applying for the mentor role and 14 for the mentee. So that's like, but also like we have another, one moment. There was a mentorship program before, the one that we moved to the node.js Foundation.
Okay.
Ahmed, I want to ask, which form did Mark convert? Did you convert the mentor or the mentee?
The mentor. The
mentor. Okay,
yeah.
That's good. Because then we can start sharing that and try to get a little bit more sooner. Like it'd be bad if it was the reverse, because then we could just get mentees and not have actual mentors to be able to help them.
Right on, right on.
So do you? I don't know if I got the link for that. Do you have that?
Yeah, I do.
And like you don't need to get it to me right this second. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt what you're doing. But it would be super awesome if we could all get that. Thank you. Yeah, and share that. So please share that. I will also reach out to Zibby at the foundation to ask if we can get that shared. Actually, I'll probably do that from an issue in the mentorship repo.
Great.
I will write that now. But yeah, that'd be super awesome to help with that.
Okay, I don't know if I can share it myself. Let me check.
Assuming that the list is not the union of the folks that are here, that should get us, at least three is what I would look for in defining those those folks. Anytime we're taking on individuals who have existing strong responsibilities in the across the project, I always will sort of lower my expectations that person is going to be available. So I see a couple of folks in this list that are already heavily committed to various activities in the project, and I want them to to respond and to self-assess that question that I was asking earlier, if they have time to sort of help bootstrap. But in general, my expectation would be lowered if they're already heavily tasked and participating elsewhere. So yeah, Tierney, I think this is a great opportunity to leverage the form that's been transitioned over to the foundation and put out a request, and give ourselves a line in the sand to work to. So we're whether it's this next meeting that we're going to invite folks to, or this next meeting we're gonna get together and kind of walk through the process of onboarding mentors, and then test it out in 2 meetings from now. I think we should do one or the other.
Yeah, for sure. One question I have. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, one question I have: are we going to call it a cohort? Like, is that the kind of way we're going to be moving forward with this? I know, sorry, naming, but I don't just. I want to make sure like I'm messaging this accurately.
Got it.
I agree with that. If you name it a cohort, then that's going to come with certain expectations about how people perceive it, or a class. Now you're a boot camp all of a sudden, and you don't know what just hit you. So
right. Yeah, I actually recommend not using that terminology. I don't expect to. Cohort assumes that you're managing things as groups moving forward, and I don't expect them to to be managed as groups going forward.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so more broader, less specific. Yeah. And we were talking about the operation code process, so I leveraged that terminology. Yeah, but I don't think that's appropriate here.
Okay.
Or at least not now.
I will say, like, the one-to-many model, in terms of like, you're already seeing that you have a far different ratio of mentors and mentees than you might want. To kickstart this thing, I see this similar to, like, say, like a social media site like Reddit, where they seeded the content to like just get people going for a little while. This is kind of the same situation, where unless you have like a couple of senior mentors who are just willing to have that one-to-many relationship, it's going to be hard to start. Like you'll need to have some folks who are willing to take more than their share of the load, and a 1-to-1 ratio is hard to maintain. It will be challenging. So just know that that's not an issue that's going to go away, but it'll become easier.
Right, and just in full awareness of folks here, that is my expectation coming in my personal participation, and individual desire to see the mentorship program get off the ground. My expectation is that my individual involvement will be outsized at the beginning, just to help that get off the ground.
I wanted to point out there's the node forward repo.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's a list of mentors. Maybe we can contact them if they are still interested. I believe they've been mentors before, so they have some experience with this. Maybe they can be like the senior mentors.
Yeah, that's great. There's a great list of folks there.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely agree.
Just glancing through that list, that there a bunch of individuals who I would say that there's a reasonable chance that they would say yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
So if this is under the Node Foundation in terms of how it's being managed, there are a lot of resources that you have now as a nonprofit that can help support this, like with SendGrid or MailChimp or like an email platform to like track a lot of this stuff. I imagine maybe you want to I don't know if you want to manage this through GitHub or what platform that you want to use for communication, but you want probably settle on that pretty early so you're not like having to check Slack and Gmail and whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've kind of discussed that, if I understand, and we've settled on the Node Slackers Slack as the way we're probably going to do that. But yeah.
All right, that's good. One thing that I've seen kind of slow things down is like having too many channels of communication, and then one person only checks the one. The people check the one they like. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. Slack. Oh, you sent me an email.
Yeah. So
I usually don't open my email till 5. So
exactly. Yeah, me too. Right. You dropped a bunch of emails in my. Yeah. I was like, I haven't seen that.
As part of like your mentor guidebook, make it clear like this is what we use to communicate. And if you do emails to communicate one-on-one, then you do that. But like as far as your interaction with the mentorship program, it's Slack.
Nice. Right on. And especially early to your point, Conrad, right? Reinforcing that this is the only channel we're going to use officially. Nice.
I want to join the Slack channel, but I can't. Like I've tried to submit twice. I said that in the yeah. So
after this, you and I can stay on once we're done live streaming, and we can see if we can screen share through it.
Okay.
See if we can get that done.
Yeah, let's get that unlocked. Right on.
Okay.
All right. So I'd like to drive us to a decision on what we do at our next meeting, whether we invite our mentors or we work on the onboarding process. And I'll shut up and not drive the decision.
My recommendation would be like if there's like a quick description of like this is what's expected of a mentor, this is what's expected of a mentee, like that could be the seed of your guidebook. And as you bring in mentors, they can start iterating on that guidebook with their best practices, their lessons learned. And then as part of the sign up process, then you can integrate that in say the Google form, and that'll help give people a sense of expectations as to what they're expected to do. You want to make sure you're going to need to get a certain number of people just to hit critical mass, but also quality of mentors counts.
Yep.
And you want to really make sure that the expectations for what a mentor is supposed to do are well understood. Otherwise, it's going to be like, oh, is this just a 30-minute one-off session where it's like, all right, we're setting it and forgetting it, and then I don't talk to this person again? Mm-hmm. You're talking about a long-term relationship, because if that expectation isn't set early, then they're going to get mismatched expectations, and then you'll be disappointed,
Yep. Yeah. So, if I were preparing for that and doing that, and finding the least possible effort, I'd probably just go through the the mentorship README. It's great. Ahmed spend a lot of time in curating that and setting that up. So Ahmed pointing to the expectations. So there's a fair amount there. Folks don't read, so the facts that you would basically walk folks through a document for me is not a waste of time, because most people probably won't go through and read it in a detailed manner.
Cool.
Yeah, you can like read
We're
it, Conrad, and give us feedback. That would be awesome about the expectations. I sent a link. Like I set the expectations because I agree with you. Like you have to be specific, like about the mentality, what to expect, what are the goals, and like it's really like small points about the expectations that the mentors should expect, and mentees, and some general details. It's in the repo.
Yep, I'm seeing it now. I hadn't seen this before.
Okay.
It was really good.
Well, why don't we try something? Why don't we go through this, and we'll invite the three people who have already raised their hands to next week's meeting, and we'll just go through and do a dry run, right? Consider it a dry run for broader outreach, and get a sense of what the gaps may be, right? Between what's written down, and listen for what the screen test it. Listen for what the mentors have feedback on, and test for things like, hey, we were setting the expectations very crisply that you're dedicating 1 hour every month for 6 months. Are you still in?
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, I believe we should bring them in the next meeting and see how things go. If there's like misunderstandings or unclarified things, maybe we can clarify it.
Great. Then, Ahmed, do you think that you could set up a meeting issue in the mentorship repo, so we can have an anchored meeting for, what is the date of this? Something to point everybody to, the 6th.
Yes, I will do that.
Awesome.
So next meeting, I will. We're gonna send them an email, or in the GitHub issue we can. What do you suggest?
So I will set up the calendar invite. Right. So I'll invite everyone to the calendar invite. But then if you could set up the issue where everyone can sort of drive to, like, and get the context. Oh, what are we talking about? And have a place to check in on. I live in the calendar, and if it's not on, if I don't have anything in the calendar, it doesn't exist. So this is as much for me as for anybody else. But the typical process would be that we'd have an issue in GitHub, and that's the focal point of a meeting.
Okay, I will do that.
Awesome.
Hopefully today.
So
Great.
I'm about to submit an issue, like a call for mentors type thing. I would really love it if y'all could review it, and
Cool.
like make edits. Don't like I'm giving you permission to edit it, and make changes if you want to, or add things, or comment. Do whatever you want. But I would really like to make sure that this is something that we can kind of point to as, hey, please come help. So yeah, I'm going to submit that now. But I just wanted to make sure y'all know, and it's on your radar.
Thank you.
So that's in there, and the link is in the Zoom chat now.
Okay, and I've got this on the calendar with a little note that that the agenda is going to focus on a dry run session for mentor onboarding. All right.
It looks good.
Great. I love the call out of mentorship expectations, Tony. Scuba.
Yeah, I wasn't going to include that until we started talking about it. So I was writing something else. So that was great timing.
Right. You know, there's no edits to the content. There's a misspelling at the very last spelling of mentors is misspelled.
Thank you.
No further.
Yeah, there you go.
Or useful actual comments there.
It's hard
Great.
writing markdown links sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got. Feeling good about the the direction we're heading, and yeah, I think we'd probably wrap it up.
Awesome. Sounds good. That's good.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for coming. And
Thanks, Ahmad. Thanks, Conrad. Thanks,
Thank
Tierney.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you all soon.
See you guys.
Take care.